because I don't anticipate, I never do, that this is going to be longer than just a few minutes. But I wanted to, hot Malaysia sun, amen. I wanted to share with you guys a couple of the first aid things that I brought with me that are TSA friendly, that you don't have to worry about them confiscating your things. Like I tried to bring some sunscreen with me that I like, so I didn't have to rebuy it, not thinking when I left Thailand that I don't have any check-in luggage. So everything is carry-on and backpack, and they're gonna toss your things away if it's more than a certain amount of ounces. And so they tossed my sunscreen away, and now I'm starting to see sunburn spots pop up and things like that. But all is well, I mean, it's sunscreen. But a couple of things that you can take with you. I was going through my bag just now looking for something, and I thought I should probably share this with the people. It's not compulsory that you go and get these things. It's not a must, but just for peace of mind, I just thought, well, it's in the kit. I'm not really using the kit because how often are you having emergencies and things like that? I'm not like going on nature hikes and stuff on a daily basis. So some of these things I really don't need to use. But since I'm here, since I'm going overseas, let me take a few things with me, and I'm very happy that I did. One of the things that I brought with me that I haven't really had to use, but I've got it. Wound cleaning gauze. It's got, it's alcohol free. So, and I think I may have used one or two. Maybe I used one or two the day that I had that fall, but I had on my super dry workout pants. So those are pretty resilient and thick. So I didn't really draw any, I didn't have a huge injury, but I think I remember I did open one of these for some reason. So I have this alcohol-free wound cleaning wipe. I have a regular wipe for my hands and for surfaces when I'm out. In case I need to pull this out, I have it. So this is one of those things, it's like, yeah, you could buy some liquid Purell when you get there, but if you want to bring some things with you, these are a good idea because you don't have to deal with the ounce restriction, yeah? So that's another thing. Also, a couple of Band-Aids, so you don't have to go searching for these things. Yeah, they're off-brand Equate. Everybody calm down and relax. Just relax, it's a Band-Aid. It stays on all day. And the reason that I know is I had to pull one or two of these out earlier this week because I was trying to open a package, didn't have a scissor. And the kitchen that comes provided in this space had a knife inside. So I was just gonna open the package really quick and ended up slicing my thumb. So I needed a Band-Aid, and it stayed there all day. As I was out touring, doing everything that I needed to do for the whole day, it stayed on. So don't worry yourself trying to get, you know, the latest and greatest Band-Aid brand with all the Disney characters or your coolest. I mean, do your thing. If that's what you have to have, you have to have it, right? So I'm happy that I had these on deck because I needed it. And at the point that you're in an emergency where your thumb is bleeding like mine was, you don't have to go and run and try to figure that out. So I was able to go straight in, run it under the cold water, and then patch it up really quickly, okay? And I do have an ointment that I forgot to bring over. I brought an ointment with me, but that's the third thing that I brought in my first aid kit. The other thing is this. Now, I didn't know that these would be so essential and so important. Before I came to Southeast Asia, someone gave me a great tip. Besides having the topical, like insect repellent, which I bought when I was in Thailand, which is not with me now because I couldn't bring a lot of things with me. Again, carry on and backpack, certain things they won't let you bring if they're over a certain ounce. But these have been a saving grace that I brought in from my first aid kit. And anytime I get any type of mosquito bite or, you know, anything that I don't know if it's all mosquitoes that have bit me on my ankles and, you know, my hands and things like that as I'm going through these caves, this has been so helpful. So if you can get to, and I don't know if you guys can read that, but just your standard first aid kit will have these. A lot of times if you're in a hotel in the States, Like we were in, what was it, Fort Worth, Texas. I've been in Houston, and the front desk will have these because God even knows what's in those beds when you get to a room that a whole lot of people have been in. So they have things like this. Take your little stack. Take your little stack. The guy gave me, I don't know, 4 or 5. And I was like, well, I don't think I need this many, but you know, I'll take them. And he was like, well, here, take some more just in case. So he gave me a little stack, and out of that stack, I have 3 left. I've had to use these twice. And they work so efficiently and so quickly. Yeah, so those were helpful. I pulled these out because I'm like, yeah, I got a couple of stings going through those temples on Sunday and going through the caves on Sunday. I've got a couple of bites on my hands and on my ankles. Even on the banana boat over in Vietnam, I had a couple of stings on my hips and on my legs. And I'm like, I didn't know that they were chewing me up like that in that coconut forest, but they were. So these are very helpful. Okay, so we got the Band-Aids. We have alcohol-free wound cleansing wipes. We have the Purell sanitizing wipes, and we have the sting relief. This has been my favorite thing, and I'm so happy that I've had this because I didn't have to worry with, okay, I'm gonna pat my skin to death trying not to scratch it, because you know, you scratch things with your nails and God knows how they develop into other things. So these have been very good. What else did I bring? I brought regular Vaseline. The reason why, sometimes these soaps and moisturizers that you get overseas don't necessarily hydrate your skin like you want them to. Now, I do have my skincare regimen with me, but I don't bring like my larger portions because I don't, it's, some of it is prescribed and some of it is very, it ain't very budget friendly for me to just let them throw it away. Like I probably would have a fit if they threw some of my stuff away. So I travel with this because I can put it on my lips, I can use it in my hair, I can put it on my face. The other day I used it for my legs because being out in Da Nang, Vietnam for that 3 weeks and at the beach pretty much every day and standing directly in the sun and being in the salt water, my skin kind of took a hit. So I noticed that my skin is starting to peel and I've got these sunburn spaces that are starting to, you know, slough off as dead skin does when you've been out in the sun, sunburning. And yes, Black people still sunburn. If you stay out there long enough, you're gonna not only get darker and supercharge your melanin, but you're also gonna burn depending on what kind of skin care you've got on. Again, they threw away my sunscreen at the airports. I didn't have it. As soon as I got to the beach, didn't have what I'd held on to for a whole month. So anyway, this is really good. I put it on my legs the other day and it felt so good to have moisturizer. And let me tell you why I use this. What had happened was I went and got this from the convenience store downstairs. That's another thing I love about Malaysia. They have convenience stores and all kinds of like little eateries and stuff. I happen to come during Ramadan, yes. So most of those are closed. You can get coffee and muffins and all the junk food, and some fruit. Anyway, back to my story. I got this, and this takes 3 or 4 layers before it actually, and I even got the deeper store, which is supposed to be thicker. It's so thin and watery. It don't work for our skin. This version over here, it don't work like our version over there. I'm just saying. My experience. It could be that I just got a bad batch, or it could be I've been in shops before they've stretched their supply. So I don't know what's happening with that because Vaseline is normally, I've worked for Vaseline before as a contractor, touring with Oprah. I know their stuff is good. So I'm like, what? I've worked with them before. I know this product. This should be better. I don't know what's happening, but it takes, when I got out the shower, I put on a layer after I'm dried off. And then I put on another layer 10, 15 minutes later because it's already absorbed in and the skin is already starting to dry out. And then before I leave out, I put on a 3rd layer, and that seems to keep me hydrated throughout the time that I'm outside. Just enough to make me sweat in this Malaysian heat. So that's another reason why I kind of went back old school to just a thin layer of some good old petroleum jelly. just so that my skin is not chapped in those things. Another thing is a lot of the supplies that we use over in the United States, people think, well, I could never do that because I can't find anybody to do my hair. I can't find anybody that sells the product that I absolutely am addicted to and I love. And there's no other product in the world that I can use except for my XYZ ABC. Really? 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 Okay. So when I got over here, now mind you, when I was putting contacts in my eyes for aesthetic pleasing only, didn't need the contacts. I just liked the colors that were available. And I would always get like eye wash, right? With the contact, what do you call it? The little case that comes with the contact cleaner. But over in Vietnam, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the sand, because I feel like I didn't feel like the air was smoggy. I didn't feel like it was like laden with particles and pollution. But my eyes were so itchy, like right up above the top. Not itchy. My eyes were scratchy. They were scratchy. So I'm like, did I have sand in my eyes from being in the ocean, or did some sand blow in my eye? I could not for a day and a half get rid of this feeling. I thought, I'll just rinse it, or I'll just keep moving it and hopefully it would not go. So they tried to sell me some medication saying, well, you need some medicine for your eyes because it may be probably their version of what they're thinking was pink eye. You need medication, you need medication. Medication is not my first go-to, ever. Like I'm trying to find a natural solution most of the time. Unless it's something like I'm in dire straits and I need something that's gonna require more than 24 to 48 hours for me to get comfortable, right? So I declined getting whatever medication they were trying to get me to drop in my eyes. And I went to a second pharmacy in Vietnam because the first one, she was adamant, no, you got to take this medicine. And the medicine, I think, was something like 200,000 or 190,000 of their money. And I'm like, I don't know if it may be small money, but comparatively, but why would I pay you that when I don't want this medicine. Just give me something to wash my eye. So anyway, I had to leave that pharmacy and go to another pharmacy, which is literally half a block down the street. There's pharmacies all the way down the street. You can stop at any one. You don't need a prescription. You don't need a doctor's note. You can just go in the pharmacy, which I love about Southeast Asia. Well, I can't say all inclusive because I've not been everywhere. Thailand and Vietnam, you can just go into a pharmacy and say, hey, these are the issues that I'm having. What do you recommend? Or do you have this specific brand? Or this is what I normally take. What do you have that's comparable? And they'll work it out and get you what you need, right? So I ended up getting this for something, I don't know, it might have been 60 cents or $1, and washed my eyes with this for, I went through 2 rinses with it. And whatever was in there in my eye left. So don't be afraid to travel thinking that you won't get what you need. A lot of times the care and the access that you have to medical things and to take care of your health and to be self-care savvy is at your fingertips. It's literally, you walk out your hotel and go across the street or walk two or three steps down and you can go get what you need. You don't have to worry about that $286 copay with insurance to go and talk to somebody before they even give you the medicine that's going to cost you $50, $100, $200, right? So that's one of the things that I bought over here at the pharmacy. The other thing is you don't have to go to a pharmacy to get it. You can go to any corner store, any, I don't know what the name of their CVS Walgreens equivalent is, but you can walk into any of those stores, especially the pharmacies. They're going to have this. If you have sore, tight muscles from doing a lot of touring, walking stairs, I've been to Bantu Cave, Marble Mountain, I've been to Banai Hills, I've been to multiple caves, and this is essential after walking 300 steps, 272 steps at the Batu Caves, and the Monkey Mountain and Marble Mountain. After you've had a full day of just walking, climbing, doing a bunch of heavy lifting, whatever you're doing, Tiger Balm. Y'all remember, this is old school. They used to, listen, we used to live by this and Vicks Vapor Rub. So you don't have to bring this kind of thing with you. This is literally, I don't know, $2, maybe. $2 at the pharmacy or whatever corner store you stop at. Put this on your back, put this on your glutes, put this on your knees, put it on your traps, your shoulders, wherever you need it. And let the cooling menthol, healing, whatever is in here, Chinese medicine, Asian medicine, I don't know. I've never like really researched it, but we've been using this for years. They have this, so you don't have to travel with your muscle, your topical muscle relaxers, if that makes sense. That's another thing that I bought. Also, because the foods and the varieties in which they cook them, with the herbs and extra, starchy, the pastas, the rices, the different sauces and curries and meats and things like that, you want to have something that helps you, aids you in your digestion. And this, for me, I found in Vietnam. It's a magnesium tablet. And this helps move things out of your colon, because if you haven't gone in 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, there's a problem, Houston. Houston, there's a problem. You gotta be going every day, twice a day. And I found that when I got over to Vietnam, I was having a problem with my digestion. I'm like, okay, what gives? Is it because I'm in a new place, or is it because, I'm still not like really sleeping and I'm not really settled because there's so much noise and there's so much chaos all the time happening. Trying to just get across the street, trying to sleep at night with the bun bow man coming back and forth through there. It's like, oh, the neighbors, and they're over there having a good time as a couple, and you're like, I can hear everything. Like, I'm not sleeping, and I know that the lack of sleep directly affects digestion for women. I don't know about men. Men can fall asleep standing up. I don't know how y'all, not all men. Let me put that out there. Somebody, you all, okay. But anyway, magnesium tablets are helpful. These I take one in the morning, one in the evening, to make sure that the water that I'm drinking has a highway in which to remove the things that have decided they want to stay because of stress and lack of sleep and everything else that's possibly going on. The other thing that you can find over here, I see mainly in Thailand, but it's also, and I forgot to bring my other thing, I'll bring it. But it's also, I've seen this in Vietnam as well. This is like an herbal compress. You'll see everybody in Thailand with these. I didn't see very many people in Vietnam with it, but it's like in Thailand, this is an addiction. There's 3 or 4 different versions of this. I like the one in the green bottle because it smells very minty, but it basically is like an inhalation assistant. Like, it helps you. It's an herbal compress inside, yeah? Got all these nice natural herbs in there. And you don't put it on your skin, you don't do any of that. You just open the cap and it's very strong. It's like Vicks menthol. Is it Vicks mentholatum? That's what I'm trying to say. Don't get it too close to your eyes because your eyes are gonna feel it immediately. But you get a nice whiff of this, and it's like, I feel the cooling sensation going down my throat, into my lungs. My nasal passages have opened up, and that's really important over in Thailand because, as we know, there's a couple of things that have been said about Thailand's air quality and the pollution and the burning season and how they, the smoke is in the air for seasons at a time. So I believe this is one of the ways that they mitigate that is by having this available. So you'll see everybody just down the street in Thailand. It's like, what is that? What are they doing? Okay, let me find out and investigate. And then you get one, you're like, oh, I see why they're always sniffing it. Like it refreshes all of your nasal passages. It's amazing. So I don't know the actual health benefit to be able to speak to that because I haven't done that level of research to be able to advise you. I'm just introducing you or reminding those who already know about this one for your first aid and medical things. The last thing before I go get my my digestion helper that I forgot to bring it here. The last thing was when I went down in Thailand, meaning I was not feeling great. I was feeling very, very green. My sinuses were doing something crazy. I was very stuffy. I was sneezing and my head just felt like it was just extremely full. I again walked to the pharmacy and said, hey, these are the things I'm dealing with. What do you suggest? And they gave me something that's pretty comparable to Flonase that you just take and it's a nasal spray, basically. I think I used this maybe once or twice before, because again, medicine is not my first go-to. So I'm trying to point you to things that aren't necessarily needing to be prescribed. But this would have been a prescription otherwise. But I didn't have to have one because of how Thailand and how Vietnam operate. And it's wonderful. You can actually help yourself without having to jump through a bunch of hoops and tunnels to get there, yeah? So this, and I think this was less than $5. I think it was less than I forgot to do this video prior to now so that I could really have the math together for you guys. But that's also very helpful. So whatever you need, essentially, is already here and probably in better supply and better quality than what you're used to getting. And it's going to cost you a fraction of what you would have paid for someone to write you a script or to give you the go-ahead to have good health and to help yourself and to bless you with access to things that your body needs. And that's all I'll say about that. That's all I'll say about that. I do want to show y'all, I'll show y'all the view that I have as well. What did I do with, well, even if I don't get to find it, I'll probably find it after I hang up with you guys. Oh, here it is. I moved it when maintenance came in earlier today. This is activated charcoal. I'm not getting any sponsor money, but I'm just gonna show y'all. Okay, this is activated charcoal. What this does is it gets into you can pour it into just like a half of a teaspoon or more if you choose. It was a little expensive in my eyes. It was a little expensive, so I don't use a whole lot, but I don't think you need a whole lot because it comes in literally this small container for that reason. Half of a teaspoon, put it in your bottled water, and then just shake it up. Yes, your water is going to turn black because it's activated charcoal. What makes it activated? That's your homework. You get to go on the internet and do your Googles and research and find out why it's called activated. But basically you put it in your bottled water, you sip it. If you're not used to it, it may feel a little bit grainy on the onset, but if you've put it in the right proportion in your water bottle, it should just, you shouldn't even notice the difference, to be honest with you. I think mentally you may have to get past the fact that you're drinking black water, but know that it's for your health. It'll get inside, it'll bind to certain free radicals and certain things, waste that's in your system that are not being used for nutrient or for hydration or for mineral or herb absorption. All those things, the trash, basically, the garbage that's just sitting in your system and don't want to move, this will bind to it, honey, and move it right on out your way. So you don't have to worry about it just sitting there and creating polyps in the days to come or creating dis-ease. So we don't want to get into all that because, that's my former wheelhouse. I'm not here to preach to nobody today. So yeah, do your Googles and you'll get a lot more insight on why this is helpful, especially when you're eating foreign foods, eating foreign cuisine, eating in foreign places that may or may not have the same cleanliness practices, like washing your hands and not coughing on people's food, or maybe even washing the dish, or maybe not having, I won't say the things that I've seen. I'm gonna leave it there. Activated charcoal, put it in your life. And it's small enough to fit in a carry-on. Essential. I really feel like, again, the fact that places have been closed or out of what I've asked for, or I've ended up at the wrong place, so I'm looking for another place, I said that in another video, have been my saving grace. this also. If I feel like, well, this place looks a little seedy, but I'm gonna try the food anyway because there's a line. So it might be good, but I'm definitely gonna do this after I've eaten it so that we don't just sit with it, just move it right along. I've tasted you, now make your exit. This is it, okay? For your tummy, for your tummy. So this, the magnesium tablets that are good for your digestion. Magnesium also very good for sleep. So if you're having trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, sometimes this is going to be the thing to help you. Also good for relaxing muscles, inflammation, all kind of good stuff it's good for. Yeah, so do your Googles. Again, I'm not here to preach and teach. I've done that for many, many years. Do your own research, yeah? Okay, those are the things. Now, for my Malaysian medical tour, I went to go get all of my vitals checked. And I was there from 8:30 till 4. I don't know that that's the normal case because V, left my whole passport here at my place. I don't know why I was thinking that I need to just travel. And what's crazy is that I always travel with a paper copy, so I don't have to take my passport with me. But because I was trying to travel light, I pulled it right out of my little pack and didn't have any copy. So thank God they took a soft copy. They helped me out. Otherwise, I would have had, after all of this time and after booking this appointment back December, when I knew I was coming, I would have had to reschedule, and God even knows if I could have gotten back in the door because they were full when I got there, and people were constantly funneling out. Okay, go to this place, go do that test. So we were up and down the building, and it's a beautiful facility, beautiful building. And I made a video about it earlier today, maybe about an hour ago, so you guys can go check it out. And yeah, it was a good experience. They did everything. Not only the blood and the urine test and the blood pressure that they always check when you first get into an American appointment, but they went as far as to do a BMI scan. They did a bone scan. They did, of course, the weight and the blood pressure. Then they took me to go get my eyes checked. Then they took me down the hallway to get my hearing checked. Then I went to scan my hips and my legs in an x-ray for bone function and that kind of thing to see if I had any bone loss. None, thank God. She was like, if you had been a smoker, you would have a bone density problem because smoking does a lot to your bone density. And I'm like, oh yeah? She's like, yeah. The smokers that we see, we know that they're smokers because of their bones. Now, I am also a therapist of sorts. I say that just because I don't want to have to do therapy talk. But there's a certain way that I can see if you're smoking a certain thing. I have certain cues, and there's certain landmarks that I can see that confirm for me that you're a smoker. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to agree. If I look at it, I know you're a smoker. So careful with that, because your bone density is important. As we get older, that's going to matter to you. So maybe find a way to lessen it and then stop it. Okay? That's all I'll say about that. So bone density was good. Checked heart rate through a stress test, which meant I had to run on the treadmill with the EKGs all connected to me, checking my heart rate and my blood pressure and all of that as I ran. And I was proud of myself because she was like, oh, it's only going to take like 6 minutes. And then she put the thing on an incline and made me run for 8 minutes. I think she was like, if it gets to 85% or if your blood pressure gets up to 200, then we'll stop it. And it didn't. She was expecting this Meemaw to phase out in 3 or 4 minutes, honey. I might be fat in this season. But I'm still very active and still very healthy. I'm just a little puffy right now. And that's okay. Yeah, I works out, honey. So she was looking at me like, didn't you say you were Meemaw? Yes. Yes, I am. Yes. Any other questions as I'm running on this treadmill? Girl, turn this thing off. Got me on an incline running, trying to have a conversation, girl. But yeah, then I did a pap smear. I did a mammogram. Now, I had heard all this time about these mammograms and how they tell you that once you're a woman of a certain age, that they're going to take your breast and they're going to smash that mug down, and they're going to have you stand in one room and then take your breast to another room. And I was like, they do what? So I have been avoiding this here test. I don't want them problems. But they were like, well, you're here. It's a part of the comprehensive package that you're purchasing. By the way, much less than $1,000 for all these tests I'm telling y'all. My copay was $286 just to get in the doctor's door before we start talking about any test panels, blood panels, liver function, organ function. They gave me a sonogram, y'all. Tested all my liver, my organs, checked it. Y'all. So I was like, I don't want this mammogram, but I'm here. Okay, go ahead and toughen up. Toughen up, Buttercup. We're here now. So, as they said, they smashed it down one at a time. In the machine, ma'am, in the machine. So I'm sitting there in the machine, and I'm like, oh, dear heaven, this thing is still compressing down. It's still compressing. When she gonna stop? And then it lifted, and then it pulled, and I was like, yay. Not something you want to do every year. So she was like, no, you don't have to do this every year. You can do this every other year. And I said, oh, can I? Girl, I don't want to do this today. What do you mean come back in 2 years and do it again? Girl, I promise you, I'll be healthier the next time you see me, because I'm losing this weight and I'm going to get my intake together. That's just me. Do what you want, but that's me. So yeah, that wasn't a great time, because she went right underneath this clavicle bone, right underneath, and then grabbed all of this tissue. I probably can't do that on YouTube. She grabbed all of this tissue, and as my grandmother used to say, she squeezed it into that tablet, and croom, and then lifted the thing up like this, and then took my arm fat and tucked it behind the thing so she can get underneath my armpit. And I was like, ooh, this 45 to 60 seconds can go fast enough. So that was the highlight. But yeah, I did the mammogram. I did the sonogram to check all of my organ, liver function, kidneys, all of that. Everything came back very normal, very, very well, very perfect as God designed. Amen. And blood came back great. The only note that she had for me was, oh, your cholesterol is up just a little bit, but it's even on both sides. So it's not something that we can't take care of. And I said, oh, that's probably because I've been giving myself happy birthday cakes for at least 2 weeks. The birth of a new day. I have to put those on. I did one in Vietnam, and I did one here when I got here. It's a birthday. Every day is a new day. Yeah. So I had a Malaysian Royale from Baskin Robbins. That cake was good. It was 4 inches. And it took me 2 days, but I finished that thing, and it was so delicious. It had baklava in it, some crushed pistachios. I'm not going to pass that up. I'm not doing that. Vietnam, I had another little celebratory cake, just celebrating being alive. And then I told you I couldn't find food, so I ended up getting French fries and fried chicken the first night I even got here. So yeah, I know that number was going to be a little wonky. So I'm not concerned about that, because I don't eat like that all the time. So yeah, that was my main note. She didn't want to talk to me about weight, but I was like, let me introduce the conversation. I said, okay, I'm still trying to work towards this 30 pounds down. She was like, well, you already know all the things to do because of your profession and because of, your teaching and all that, you know. I said, okay, yeah, I just wanted to be the one to say it because I know it's on your mind. So, a very, very good appointment. I'm happy that I got it done. Again, way less than $1,000. I don't want to give their pricing, because by the time this video ages a day, a week, a month, a few years, their pricing may be different. But as of 2025, March, middle of March, here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, that all of those tests I just told you, 12, 13 tests, less than $1,000. When I say less than $1,000, I don't mean it was 975 or 850 or 710 or 650. I'm saying way less than $1,000 is what I'll say. So if you have the time, get your hind parts over here and do all the tests that you think that you need, get your second opinions, do all the things, and go back and look at my video on, and I think that's a short. I didn't do a very, very long one, just kind of hit it and quit it. Go back and look at some of those shorts and you'll see the place and how beautiful and luxurious it is. They even give you food vouchers so you don't have to leave. Like, you can't eat. I fasted the night before just out of habit, and my appointment was 9:30, and I don't think I ate anything till like 1:30. But again, I think some of that delay was on me because I had left my passport, and so we had to kind of get that sorted out. But I think most people were done by 1, 2 ordinarily. But you do have to have a lunch break there, so they have time to get all the panels in, do all of the summarizing, so that they can give it to the main doctor so she can talk to you about where you are and what she's seen, and kind of give you your grade on how you did. So I'm excited about that. I'm happy with the trip over here. I'm not doing too much here. I've done 1, 2, 3. I've done 3 tours. I'm not really over here to be a tourist per se. I think that's a great way to spend a whole lot of money when you're just doing, what do you call it? Slow travel is what I'm calling it. It's slow travel. I'm not here to do a bunch of, spending and, oh, I got to go shopping. I got to get all these, souvenirs to bring back to everybody. And I've got to go this place and that place. No, just the main places. I went to see the National Mosque. I went to the Batu Caves. I went to Little India, Little China. What else did I do? I went to the batik. I think it's called batik fabric shop. I'm looking outside, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all. It's so beautiful out here. I went to the batik fabric shop and made a couple of designs on some fabric, and I bought me a little moo. But I'm like, well, that's it. That's the extent of my shopping. I'm not gonna do too much. So this is the balcony. Beautiful, beautiful. And today we're getting a lot of sun. This is the first day I've actually seen the sun be out this clear. Every day has been kind of overcast and frankly raining by between 1 and 4 o'clock. We've been getting rain just about every day since I've been here. Last night was the first day it didn't rain, but it was so muggy that I stepped outside and was sweating. So yeah. And every night I get a fireworks show. Every night. Because it's Ramadan. And I didn't do my research. That's the first thing that my Grab driver said. He said, so you're new? Okay, today's your first day. Did you do your research? I was like, of course not. Of course not. He was like, well, we're in Ramadan, so you won't be able to have all the choices till around between 3 and 7 because everything is closed down for Ramadan. I said, oh, can't eat, you say? Okay. Well, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I've done fasting before, but y'all got me unexpected. I didn't expect not to eat after having a full travel day. A full travel day. And now it is, what was it, 4 or 5 o'clock? And I am hungry because I haven't eaten all day. They kept changing our gates coming out of Vietnam, and then we had to take a bus. And it was a whole workup. So I didn't get to eat. So to get here thinking, okay, I'll just go and put my things down and then go out to eat. And I couldn't get to any food. And that happened to me for 3 days straight. So I should have done a little bit more research. My research normally consists of, do I need a visa to get over there? What is the cultural climate like? What's the weather like? What places might I want to see when I get there? What things can I do when I get there? And for this place, it was medical tour. Okay, so I'm here to do my medical stuff, and I'm going to rest, allow my body to recover. So I think I'm getting that done. I think I'm doing it. I think I'm recovering. and I showed you guys in another short, after being able to sit down and not be moving around so much, is it yesterday or the day before? I just remembered that I had a huge fall in Thailand that stunned me and left me sitting there for at least a minute. And I had completely forgotten about it. And it showed up on my knee, and I'm like, oh my God, it was back in January. It's March. So have a little grace, give yourself some time to rest, because your body's still recovering from things you don't even remember. Your heart is still recovering from things that you don't remember. Your mind is still recovering and trying to walk through certain things that we have either forgotten or chosen to forget. Chosen to have forgotten, yeah. So that's all I got. They gave me a beautiful purple little sash that I'm very excited about. Every time I look at it, I'm like, yep, this is my little welcome. They knew to put purple in my room. Y'all knew to put purple in my room. Thank you so much. So yeah, that concludes what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Whatever you need is over here. You don't have to worry about, oh, how am I going to be able to take my medicine cabinet? You don't need it, for the most part. Do take your essentials, but if you're worried about running out of something and who's going to see me and, ooh, do they have health care? A lot of their options are far surpassing. Their technology is far surpassing what we have access to. And for pennies on the dollar, as opposed to spending all of your coin trying to get top-notch Western care. Top-notch Southeastern care is where it's at for Southeastern money. Okay? Well, glad we had this talk. God bless your heart and all your parts. You're blessed. You're loved. You're at peace. Hope there's joy in your life. Hope that you find the things that you're looking for and get surprised unexpectedly in the best way, the most fantastic way, on things that you don't expect. Okay? All right. Well, sending warmth and good vibes your way. All right. Take it easy. Till next time.